guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Tiffany Aweka, that Nigerian based in Ghana YouTuber. If you're new here, thank you for coming. It means that you probably searched for something related to this topic we're coming to discuss today, and I'm glad to have you here. And I hope you stay, because this is just going to be like my whole journey on my pregnancy so far, and how it's been for me, and how I've just been managing, having a PCOS pregnancy. PCOS, for those of you that do not know, PCOS in full means polycystic ovarian. Basically, PCOS is a problem with hormones that happens during the reproductive years. If you have PCOS, you may not have periods very often. I mentioned this in my last video that having PCOS when I was growing up, first of all, I started menstruating at a very young age. I was just probably 8, 9. I was really young, and sometimes for 5 months I won't get my period, and this continued and still continues even in my adulthood sometimes. But now in my adulthood is quite better, because sometimes 2 months now I won't get my period, or sometimes it could be so crazy I'll get my period like twice in a month. Trust me, it's nasty. I have very heavy flows and whatnot. So I'm just trying to educate people that are here, probably men that have even come to this channel, and you can help your wives. I was already growing strands of hair when I was in primary school, but we did not know what that was, because in Africa, that's like Nigeria where I'm from, when a woman has facial hair, we tag her as a wicked lady. Like, you say she's wicked, that's why she has facial hair. That's what we always tag it as. So, but then I knew I wasn't wicked, like, Charlie, come on. But then that was what it was, and I was only diagnosed when I was 21 years old, when I moved to Ghana, because I started getting, like, I had a gynecologist. She was my mom's gynecologist. My mom was like, oh, at your age you should often see a gynae. You're a woman now. So that was when it was diagnosed that I had PCOS. So you might see all the signs, you might be able to self-diagnose, but why it's important to diagnose medically is because there are different types of PCOS. So you have to know which range you fall in and which kind of PCOS you have. Guys, moving into my first trimester experience with PCOS. So shortly after I found out I was pregnant, by the normal strip tests, the following week my doctor had said I should come and see her so that she examines me properly. When she examined me, she found out that I had a cyst. Like, there are lots of cysts, like when you have ovarian, the PCOS, but there was a very big cyst. So she told me to be very careful so that it doesn't burst, because if it bursts, it could affect the baby and I could lose the baby. And here I was, like, already 5 weeks pregnant. So I said, okay, I'll be careful. Told my husband no sexual activities, no physical activities or whatsoever, but then carry about your day. So I was like, okay, fine, no problem, thank you. She gave me some drugs. She was like, let's just monitor it, because she said as the baby grows bigger it will reduce in size, so not to worry. I said, okay, no problem. So the following day was a Monday, because I saw her on a Sunday. So funny, day was on a Monday, went to work, I was happy, I was feeling good. I'm like, oh, 6 weeks pregnant, I'm not even feeling all this, my nose is not big yet. I literally did not know that my symptoms would come to my, but I was happy. I hadn't told anybody. I think I just told my best friend only, but I hadn't told anybody at all. So I was at work, time for lunch break. I went for lunch break, and next thing I started feeling a very sharp pain. Jesus Christ is Lord. It was like my anus as well. Sorry for using this word. It was like a sharp needle was pulling out. My pelvic area, that's my lower abdomen. It was like sharp pains. The first thing that happened, it's hair literally rolled down my eyes, because I'm like, God, am I having a miscarriage? At that point I wasn't even thinking that I haven't had a cyst. I was like, am I having a miscarriage? What does a miscarriage even feel like? Like, what is going on? I quickly went to the toilet. I was even having lunch with my friends, because I was at the office. It was lunch break, and I told her that I'm coming. I went to the washroom. When I went to the washroom, I literally fell on the floor. I couldn't move. So I quickly called my friend that was at the cafeteria to come. She was like, are you okay? I was like, so I just told her everything, that see, I'm pregnant and right now I think I'm losing my baby. I need to go to the hospital. I'm in pain. So first of all, she was like, I should calm down. Are you bleeding? I said, I'm scared to put my pants in. She was like, you have to check if you're bleeding. And I was just crying. She was like, I have to be careful. I have to be strong. You have to be strong. I was crying. She was like, you have to be strong. I was crying. She was like, you have to be strong. And then I checked my pants. There was no blood. But something happened. I literally like passed out. So I woke up whilst like on our way to the hospital, like just faintly. So we got to the hospital. This wasn't even my own hospital. This was like what the office, like if you're sick, where employees go to. And I went there and the doctor started to examine me and he's like, oh, are you okay? You know, I'm like, before he gave me an injection for pain, I said, wait, I'm pregnant. Will this injection affect my baby? He was like, okay, thank you, you told us. We'll give you some painkillers that is milder. So I told her I'm pregnant, that could I be having a miscarriage, you know. I also told her that I have an ovarian cyst, because I remember that I have an ovarian cyst that is big. Could that be the problem? You know, they said, oh no, there, you're fine. So my husband was already on it because I called him. So when he came, I was like, let's go to our hospital because that's where my gynae is. Getting there, long story short, I found out that my ovarian cyst had ruptured. Yes. I was so scared. I was anxious. I started crying. I started praying like I'd never prayed before. Because my doctor said if it's worst, they would have to open me up to try it, and the baby would no more. And I know this is like a first pregnancy, and I was just okay, even if this one happens, another one will come. But it had gotten personal for me already, because I had like, oh, I'm having a baby, and I didn't want to experience that. And I know a lot of women experience miscarriages every time because of things like this and other stuff, but I just knew I did not have the heart for it. I knew that I would not be able to focus. I knew that I would just be like, you get. So moving on, she checked me and she's like, okay, it's bursted, it's leaking. So if you start to bleed, then I'm sorry, baby is gone. So we'll watch you overnight. If you don't bleed, then we'll find a way to manage it. Ladies and gentlemen, that night I didn't sleep. I was praying. And when I tell you this, like, a lot of people underestimate the power of prayers and when it's God's time. I know a lot of people have prayed when they were on the verge of having miscarriages and still had miscarriages whatsoever. But when it's God's time, when He has said this is going to happen, nothing in this world will stop. Because immediately I got pregnant, because I didn't even know, like, if you look at my conception date, I literally conceived on my wedding night, which was just so weird, because I hear all those things like, oh, conceive on your wedding night, but I actually conceived on my wedding night. And me and my husband already planned that, okay, we'll start trying for kids in January, because I got married last year, 2022 September, and less than a month I'm already pregnant. You know, that's what we had planned, like, this is what we'll do, you know, because we knew that, oh, they said PCOS have to take some pills XYZ to help boost and make sure that I get pregnant. So that was the plan. I mean, so when this happened, I just knew that this was probably a miracle from God, because it wasn't planned. So moving on, the next morning I was in pain, my body was just hurting, I was just, Charlie, it was terrible. So my doctor now said, well, you're not bleeding, so thankfully baby's still okay. She checked on baby was okay, baby is growing quiet, calm. It's like, okay, that's good. So that's with the ovarian cyst part. So moving along with my pregnancy, I experienced a lot of changes so quick. I mean, there was a time, I think in my first trimester, yeah, when I was about I think 10 weeks, right? I was about 10 weeks, yeah, 10 weeks thereabouts. I woke up one morning, this wrist, it was like it was sprained, it was like it was broken. like I don't know, it was just hurting like from here to here, and I didn't sleep on it, so I don't know how all of a sudden I wake up and it's like my wrist is. Then I go to my doctor and she says it's normal. She calls it one name, I can't remember, but she's like it's normal, and I'm like, ah, what do you mean it's normal? Like my wrist is literally broken. She's like, oh, you just get like a wrist support to help you. And that was basically what I was using. I was like, what type of thing is this? So ladies, if you actually wake up one morning, because I've not seen this one on any of the pregnancy vlogs I've watched, you might wake up one morning and your wrist might be broken. Not broken, I'm exaggerating, but sprained, and you don't even know how that happened. So I wrote some of my other symptoms down. So I had vomiting. Jesus Christ, I could vomit. Hey, smell, everything. I was vomiting, I was spitting, it was nasty. I hate vomiting, but I was vomiting like crazy. It was bad, it was crazy. Then I would get the most severe migraines ever. Like my head, week 1 to 18, you people, women, you people try. Oh my goodness, I would have serious migraines. Like my head would just be beating. I'm like, what the hell is going on with me right now? I would not be able to sleep. I would not be able to watch TV, nothing. In fact, I was only off work for 7 weeks in my first trimester because I just couldn't. It was bad. Then I would have severe abdominal cramping. When I now Google stuff, see, don't Google stuff when you're pregnant, because when you Google stuff, you start becoming paranoid. I would always randomly visit my hospital, so I'm like, please, I just came for an ultrasound. Or if they're not around for me, there's this place that they do ultrasound, a very popular place in Ghana. I don't want to disclose names, but I'll just go there, pay for my ultrasound, just to have peace of mind that my baby is okay. Because the cramping was like, so that to feel like that pain that I had when I had the ovarian cyst, but not as serious, but it was really, really painful. And I'm like, oh my god, why does this thing hurt? I was also spotting at some point. Very weird, right? Blood, that's what I mean by spotting. I was spotting as well, just little drops of blood. Went to the hospital, they were like, oh, it's just normal, some women experience it. And at the end of the day, it was felt like I was experiencing everything. Like, in fact, when I talk, I'll also speak on my second trimester. When I tell you guys, it's like I experienced everything in the book. There was nothing. Is it swollen feet? And my swollen feet came quite early. It came in my second trimester because they said, oh, it comes at your third trimester, but mine came at my second trimester. So it was crazy. Don't worry, we'll talk about second trimester things. My second trimester, I feel like was the funniest trimester for me. It was funny. I think the easiest right now is the third, which I'm in. My third trimester has just been beautiful, but we'll talk about that one in another vlog. But this was about the first trimester. So you see, usually I have facial hair, right? But it's just like my chin area hair. But with this baby, like I think around week 12, 13, I noticed that all hair, beards, everything full. Okay, not full like that, but I started having beards, and I'm like, what? How is this happening? The baby's just, I'm like, give me hair on my head. I don't want it on my body, and my whole body had like a lot of hair, still has a lot of hair. I can't wait to give birth and get a proper wax, because I don't know, the people that wax here in Ghana, I don't know, my wax lady, she's scared to touch me, so to wax me, I don't know why. Another thing that happened in the ending of my first trimester was my nose. It has already reduced. Don't worry, it set one video like this, people laugh. The way my nose was so funny. It was too funny. It just became so big. My face became so all so fast. Like, what is it? Am I the first person to carry belly? I'm like, why is all this happening to me so soon, so fast? You know, my nose was just big and swollen, and Charlie, it was crazy. Another thing that happened to me, snoring. So usually I snore almost like very little, but after I got pregnant, first trimester still, my husband will tell me that he could be here and I'm like over there and he's hearing my snoring. It was crazy. Like work, I could barely do work. It was just actually everything. I would always have anxiety when I'm white because sometimes I'll see small blood. You know, the discharges were so much. In fact, the it's like, I think with pregnancy your discharges increase, you know. It was just a whole lot for me and my husband to just consume because Charlie, it was just, you know. But nevertheless, I feel like every woman has symptoms when it comes to pregnancy. I might not say I had all, but I just had too much. I feel like it was too much because only me vomit, broken wrists, I can't get out of bed, severe headaches, I couldn't eat, nothing, like swollen feet, like what is going on with me? Serious cramping, I can't sleep, like what is going on? Like how many children am I harboring in my stomach? You know, you'll think maybe I'm having twins or triplets because everything was just too much. But nevertheless, like, you know, when you start a journey, you look back and you say, can you guys also notice that my voice has changed? For you guys that are new here, I have a very tiny voice, like very tiny, like girly tiny. But since I got pregnant, my voice has changed. My voice has broken. I don't know, I don't understand. Like, if you're watching this and you know how to fix it, please help me, because I don't even know again. I don't know how to do this. I don't know what to do, you know. So nevertheless, I want to end this video now because I'm getting tired. I'm literally like 32 weeks pregnant. I'm so tired right now. And also I want to disclaimer, I am not a health care provider. Please, if you have any of the symptoms I have mentioned, or you have, just go to the hospital. Even with the cramping I was getting, I'll go to the hospital. I'll not just call my doctor. I want to check if baby is okay, and also the body that is carrying baby, I want to check if the body is okay. Especially having that experience of the ovarian cyst, it just left me paranoid. And trust me, my journey didn't end there. A lot of complications came, but you have to watch the other videos to know what happened with me. But I just thank God for my life and thank him for bringing me this far. As I'm even talking now, baby is moving, ready to enjoy this interview. But this is not an interview, a talk. So if you have any of the symptoms I mentioned, please contact your doctor, go to the hospital, check yourself. Don't look at them as normal. Even having a discharge could not be normal. It could be you have an infection. It's happened to some people, so it might not be a normal discharge. So please see your doctor and make sure you're okay, because pregnancy as well, you can't really take painkillers. So you see those headaches I had, I was really suffering, but it became so bad that my doctor just had to put me on Tylenol. But I can't advise you to go and take Tylenol because I don't know the kind of pregnancy you have whatsoever. So you gotta take Tylenol and it affects you, know. So my doctors gave me that because my condition was pretty different. So please see your doctors. Don't do self-medication, and always go to instincts. When you feel like something is wrong with your baby, 99.9% of the time something is wrong with your baby. So when you finish praying and that pain is still there, please go to your hospital, your doctor. See your doctor, okay? So yeah, it's just me talking about my PCOS story, about the ovarian cyst I had and how it went, and also the symptoms I had experienced in my first trimester. I can't wait to talk to you guys again about what I experienced in my second trimester as well as my third. So yeah, stay tuned. Bye. Please don't forget to subscribe. Thank you. And let me know what you think about this video and if you guys are enjoying this so far, because like I said, I won't take you guys on my journey, but when you're watching this, most likely I have already given birth. Yes. So bye.